right. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to this amazing one-day event full of solutions here. I'm just really excited to be a part of this thing. My name is Glenn Hadley. I'm the Senior Vice President of Strategy here at Dreamscape Marketing, and I cannot believe that we're already into our third session of the day. It is just flying along. I know we've had some comments that people said that can people still join? And yes, absolutely. You can still send the link out. People can register. We're really excited about the attendance so far today. So look, if you have comments, any technical support questions, or you just want to chat, that's going to be in the chat feature, which is over on this side of the screen for me. It may be on that side of the screen for you, but we're having fun with it. So put all this stuff in there. Please put where you're watching from. We're really excited about that. And that's kind of where you're going to chat with everybody. If you have questions for the speaker, for Camille, you can put that in the Q&A section. We're going pretty fast today. So at the end of this, if we didn't get a chance to address your questions, we can reach out to the speakers afterwards. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this thing. So this is our third session. It's the Tandem SEO plan for DSO new revenue expansion. And our speaker today is Camille Reid. She's an industry strategist at Dreamscape Marketing. I'm sure you've seen her out at many of the DSO events this year. Camille has a previous clinical and operations background in behavioral healthcare and startup venture capital experience. She also brings her emotional intelligence and awareness to the DSO space with an outside perspective into the industry. Understanding the evolution of clinical foundation to successful business acumen has allowed Camille to connect with entrepreneurs on a deeper level while helping craft performance, digital-first, holistic marketing campaigns for DSOs of all sizes and capabilities. So with that, I'll turn it over to Camille Reid. Camille, thanks for being a part of the show today.
Thank you so much. This is an awesome event so far. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to share my screen real quick, put this in there. Hopefully you guys can all see that perfectly. Yeah, thank you so much just to everybody who has been here, who has joined, who's watching, and more importantly, everybody who is also speaking at this. Today, I don't think we would be here at all without any one of you guys. I loved Brian's intro just to everybody here. And then I just wanted to speak a little bit more on my background in behavioral healthcare specifically. That's really the world that I came from. I've been in DSO and dental world for about a year now. And just hearing what Marnie had to say, hearing her side of emotional intelligence, I really do feel at home here. I feel like I've found a space where everybody is open, they're vulnerable, they have that growth mindset, and they really do have that business acumen. And it makes me feel at home just with everybody here. Alongside with that, my experience before in behavioral healthcare, just understanding the consolidation side of things has translated extremely well in this space, and having an understanding of where that industry has come from and where they're at now is parallel to the DSO world. So I'm just very grateful to be here, super excited to be a part of all of this, and just jumping into the fun Tandem SEO side of the digital marketing world. And just to piggyback off of what Brian said, as you can have an incredible marketing plan in place, but without AI tools like Patient Prism, your marketing plan can only go so far whenever it comes to tracking your data from a conversion for focused performance digital campaign. And then also, if we're looking at this slide here, the sweet spot where consumer utilization builds trust, having tools like Simplify on your website and a chat feature. I know I'm probably one of the younger speakers today, so pretty much anybody in my generation is probably the person, as Brian said, who's laying in bed at 2 a.m. thinking about, oh, hey, I should probably get this thing taken care of. I don't want to make a phone call tomorrow morning. Who can I just immediately book an appointment through? Who can I do that with, check the reviews, all of that. And then if you read the background on the talk that I'm going to be doing today, the main things to think about is that 97% of searchers are learning about the local company online. 71% of them decide on a practice based on their online reviews. I think we all know that. That's a huge thing that I hear talked about in this industry. It's one of the most important things to have your reviews up and running and promoted as best as possible. And then I'll get to this in a later slide, but 70% of your searchers are going to click to call directly from your Google local pack listing. So your Google business page, they see that call, they see your reviews, they see that you're open. Maybe you do have that feature on your page as well that says book an appointment right here without having to call. So if we think about where the industry has gone, really like the retailization of everything, having it be consumer first, the personal recommendations have always been your primary referral source. I think everybody knows that. And then after that, whether you're looking it up first and then going to ask someone that you know, or you're asking your neighbor first, and then you're going inside and you're starting to Google, you have that Google search in there. And what you're really looking to do with an effective digital marketing plan is build the trust between your practice and the consumer. Next here, this is probably my favorite thing to talk about, is who is your ideal patient? So for lack of a better phrase, who are you going to be selling to? Who does your brand appeal to in a way that you're bringing in the right type of patients that you want to have in your practice? Because if you're casting a wide net across, everybody around Houston, Texas, it's going to be extremely different. You're going to be getting some of those unqualified calls. You're going to attract new patients that, they may not stick around. They may just be there for one time, or they may book an appointment and not show up. Really dialing in for your brand and your ecosystem. Who is that person? Have a conversation with your staff, have a conversation with that front desk person, and really understand, hey, who are we seeing? Let's take a look at this. After 6 months, has that changed? Are we getting, a different type of person in here? Like maybe you've been open for 2 years. Who did we get when we first opened? And who are we retaining as a patient now, moving on? And then another side of that as well, just for your advertising piece, the patient financing. So who is your ideal patient? I know for a lot of people since COVID, where we're at now, advertising and having that built into your marketing plan, that patient financing is a big piece of your environment, and kind of bringing that to bear with everything that you have. That's going to really secure the retention side of it. And that's the type of content that you can really incorporate into your SEO plan. So the second part of this, how well are you converting them? Something to look at is your KPIs. So let's measure what truly impacts your practice and your brand. Some of your initial metrics should be consultations and appointments booked, of course, audience and engagement growth, whatever that is going to look like for you. We're going to talk about social media just a bit later here, but that's a separate piece of digital marketing. What does your audience and engagement growth look like from reviews, your Google business page? What are you hearing in the office as well? And one thing to note is that if you're only tracking impressions and click-throughs, you're really just wasting part of your time and budget and setting yourself up to not have a true cost per new patient number. It's not the biggest piece of the conversion that you want to look at. So once you get past your conversion piece here, and looking at your KPIs based on the data that you track through each appointment made, do you have an effective ROI from the conversion? Are you able to fully track the dollars spent on marketing to dollars earned? That's really where you have your effective digital marketing plan come into place. Are you able to track it all the way through? Do you have patient prism set up? Do you have all of these other wonderful tools set up through your website so that you can really take a look at, hey, this person originally started here. Like, look at us now. They've been a patient with us for over a year, and they've written all of these wonderful reviews. How are you setting those KPIs and bringing it back to, was that our ideal patient that we started with? So looking at it from your very, very first idea of who is that ideal patient to. Look at us now. They've been here. They've referred their friends. They've brought a bunch of other people in as well. All right. So this is the fun part. This is what I enjoy looking at here. It's pretty much the meat and potatoes here. Unless you're vegetarian, it's just the potatoes. So what most SEO companies mean whenever they say that they do SEO, essentially it means ensuring that their site is fast, secure, mobile friendly, and it's got well-written content, meta title tags on each page. There's a lot of details here. We can definitely get into it more off screen here when we have a little bit more time to run through it. But starting first with technical SEO, that's really where I would like to start with this. It's essentially getting your house or your website in order. And it's an essential piece in the prerequisite to ranking. So if you're looking at the technical SEO side of it, that's really getting, so keywords and meta title tags up in rank. You're doing everything that you can for your speed and relevancy. As you can see on the graph here, you can see what's most important currently for your organic ranking. And then pretty much throwing everything that you can at your website on the back end so that it's quick. You're using something like lazy loading so that it's loading all of the photos and content underneath what you originally see later so that it's the fastest on the internet. What Google is looking at whenever you're building domain authority is speed and relevancy. How relevant is the content that you're providing to your audience? Do you have things specifically dialed in to your audience, or are you casting this wide net? So now you're being ranked with every other website that says treatment, that can be so far outside of just the dental world. And then because some of your strategic on-page SEO content and technical SEO demand such different skill sets, of course, there's always the digital marketing expert that can do all of these things, but it really requires some different high-level abstract thinking, and then the latter, which is the website development work. So it's really hand in hand. There's two different types of SEO that are going to continue to grow your organic ranking, and they really want to be implemented at the same time, but just sometimes by different teams. Another piece to that is having a CMS like WordPress. It's super user friendly. Somebody can go up there, make these updates. You can have everything just all in one area. So every single day or every week, whatever that looks like for your team, you can go in and easily have those technical updates as you can. And then just the setup of your page. Every page on your site can have an intentionally written title tag. So as specific as you can get, rather than just having an about page, anything that's no more than 75 characters and links and contains 1 to 2 specific keywords. And that's something that, you'll develop with the agency or your marketing specialist just on what that looks like for you and your practice. And then whenever we look at writing actual SEO content, so Google reads at an 8th grade reading level. There's a couple different things out there that you can look at. And really what you're doing is you're writing at a very low reading level, but you're also providing those keywords in the hyper-local geo-targeted content. So I live in Austin, Texas, and if I was doing a search, perhaps I was doing something wild, cracked a tooth, and now I'm going to go look at cracked tooth, South Austin. I'm in pain. I need to find something right now. I need somebody like an emergency dentist. And let's say tomorrow I have a virtual webinar to be on and I can't have a cracked front tooth. So the content that you can write, having your title, it's answering the question that the person is using. And also creating a context of familiarity. So it alludes to situations that your audience faces every day. You're building trust as you go. All of the content is trust focused, but then it has like this back end of the technical SEO as well. So I am going to move on to one of my favorite pages as well, around basically looking at how Google works, how you show up on your search page. These 3 different columns here is what I can best explain as the 3 different auctions. So if you like to think about the first page of Google, is that you have these 3 different auctions and where are you showing up in each one and which one is most valuable for you now and in the future. So the first one here, if you look at that 2.1%, 1.6, and 1.4, that's going to be your Google ads. So this is your immediate attraction. So you can have, get your Google ads running. You're going to show up on the top. That's your first 3. I know for me, as a younger Googler, I typically scroll right past that just because I know what it is, but you're going to show up and you're going to be there and you're going to be on the first page in the meantime. The second one here for dental is huge. So that's your map pack, hyperlocal targeting and reputation management. As I said in the beginning here, 70% of your typical Google searchers will click to call straight through the call button here. They're going to pull this up. They're going to look at, okay, what are these reviews? What are the hours here? And then are they able to call through there? So you can really utilize a couple of different features in this area, but understanding still who your ideal patient is and what they're going to be looking up. And if you do have, you know, your book your appointment link right through there, that's going to be huge. And then last here in the third column is organic search. This is really where the performance-focused SEO plan shows its strength. One important thing to remember here is that this is your long-term play. This is the difference between owning a house and renting a house. If we're looking at the first column with your paid ads, that's renting your house, right? So you get it up there, it's going strong. There's not a ton, you know, but with the SEO, it does take about 4 to 6 months to index, you know, whether you know that or not. I'm sure some of this information for you all, you may have heard before, but we're going to cover the gamut. And it takes a little longer to achieve, but this is really the strongest foundation for your long-term digital footprint for organic search. So this is not branded search. If we're typing in the exact name of the dentist, that's branded search. You're going to show up organically, hopefully, number one, if somebody's typing in the name of your practice, but, you know, let's say somebody is typing in dentist in Columbia, Maryland. That's really where you want to show up. That has the highest click-through and conversion rate, and really where you want to be organically. And so starting just with your foundation there and then building upon it. I know that our CEO, Dan Gimp, loves to use, you don't have to outrun the bear, you just have to outrun the guy next to you. I love that. I'm actually in Montana right now, full of bears. So it's a great metaphor to think about here. But really, you're just looking at your competition, looking at who's around you, how can you perform better? What are those KPIs? And then how do you build a community that you want staff to stay at, you want to bring in new patients? And leading into that, I would like to briefly acknowledge social media. I love all the conversation that we've had so far about retaining your staff and then also attracting them. Social media in some of the dental and DSO world, I know for me, whenever I am talking to owners and operators all day and I'm doing a typical Google search to show them, hey, here's where you're showing up, here's where you're ranking, because my computer is also connected to my phone. Whenever I do go home and, you know, I'm scrolling on Instagram later at night, I get advertisements for dentists all the time. So that's one piece to think about. I mean, just if somebody is already Googling it, now you have another way to get in. So this really, social media, it's different than just having, you know, a bunch of content and all of that. There's still a strategic plan that can go behind this. You can target events, you can promote really your environment, show your staff, use it as a tool to attract new hygienists, new front desk employees, you know, use it as a way to show, hey, this is a wonderful place to work. We want to show our reputation. We want to show you, look at all these wonderful reviews that we're getting. And then any specials, you know, that are running. I think the social media piece here is huge whenever you're looking at that. So I'm going to open up just in case anybody wants to chat real quick or add in anything.
Yeah, Camille, I'd like to ask, one of the things that I found in the industry has moved is that whenever I first started talking to doctors in the space, I found the overwhelming majority thought of SEO as magic, right? Like it was just like this nebulous thing that they couldn't get their heads around. And now, like I'm seeing all of the perception has changed, and now we're seeing all of these marketing tools out there, and people are asking more questions. What are you seeing in the industry? Are you seeing that same change in perception about having a multifaceted marketing approach? Are you seeing that out there with the doctors?
Yeah, definitely. And exactly like you said, you know, people have always thought of SEO as, you know, it's smoke and mirrors. Like what is it? And as I said before, you know, whenever you're saying that you do SEO, being transparent and being able to show exactly what you're doing and here's where you started, here's where we're going with it, here's the plan, I think is building trust just between the agency and the operator. Being able to show exactly what you're doing and have those conversations. So nobody's getting taken advantage of in what is SEO, right? Like we're providing the data and we're really crafting something that you can have a true cost per new patient number. We're looking at the conversion rates. You know, yes, we're going to be writing content, but even each piece of content in every paragraph on your individual page has a strategy behind it.
Cool. I know we had a question here. It says, Camille, what are the highest lead conversion tools you have found for a website? Like because there are so many out there and they are amazing. What are some of the highest ones you've seen?
There are so many out there, which is great about this industry. I mean, I know that we have Amal from Patient Prism on here. We love him. We also integrate really, really well with Simplify as well. Having all of these together in one plan is really where you can have your highest ROI. Look at what makes the most sense for your practice. Look at what makes the most sense, you know, for a GP compared to pediatric. Like, look at that, understand who your ideal patient is, and then start integrating those. And then really build partnerships with those vendors that you have. Spend the time with them to understand what are your goals and do their goals align with it. As you grow and as you have that growth mindset, look at what they're trying to accomplish and how you guys can come together and continue to bring in new patients and grow.
I know out here in Colorado, we work really well with the guys at Site Staff Chat. I know some of those are on the panel today or on the show today. And yeah, just having those coordinated goals and working well with them, I think that's the key towards conversion, as long as the goal is shared. And we have time for one more. We have a last minute here. How much content should a doctor post versus an agency? Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, that is a good one.
I like that question because we get interesting questions like this a lot where it's how much and can I just say I want to share more, like more is better. Yes.
Yeah. And look at how many keywords you have in that article as well. You know, your content is not going to be indexed unless it's over 600 words. Do a small audit of each article and look at Are we excluding patients that we actually want to come to our practice? Are we promoting the type of person that we want to bring in? Is this going to be super hyper local? You know, are we targeting some of those neighborhoods that have a little higher income and they may, you know, be doing more of these searches? Are we targeting the families to bring into pediatrics? More is better, and have an actual plan, because I think gone are, you know, not I think, I know, gone are the days of just throwing content out and just hoping that something sticks. Have an actual plan behind it and know what your initial goals are and where you're going to go with it.
Yep, I appreciate that. I will just say, working with Camille, as I've seen her work with the operators in this space closely, and I think that's really the move as a whole in the industry is really partnering with all of the providers and the solutions that you're going to see today. Partnering together and working as one is the key. And I've seen Camille work with operators in this space to really drill down into a cohesive plan, working side by side instead of against one another, really working together. So I really appreciate that. And Camille, thank you so much for being a part of this and being on the show once again. If I'm going to go ahead and put this up there. If you'd like to get in touch with Camille or any of us here at Dreamscape, this is the best way to reach us. Camille, where are you going to be next?
I will be at DSO Leadership in October in Nashville. Would love to meet up with any of you all there. That'll be a fun time. Yeah, find me there, and then I'm around. And thank you all so much just for joining in on this conversation, for your wonderful questions, and then for all of the panels. We have a lot to look forward to.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. Our next session is going to be Suji Park. How do your practices smell? I'm excited to hear about this. And that looks like that's going to be starting here in we got about 8 minutes left for that. So go take a quick break, check an email or two, and then we will see you guys back here shortly. Thank you all so much, and see you soon.